I'm Rhett.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're the House Dads. Because we're dads who sell houses.
But we're also husbands, business owners, sports freaks, Christians,
friends, marketing nerds, TV show bingers, and so many more things.
Like so many of you, we're just trying to do it all. And we're trying to do it well.
And that's what we're here to talk about. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 18 of the House Dads podcast. Brandon, are you excited?
I'm pretty
He's poped.
It's my first time speaking.
For my first podcast episode.
Okay, welcome. Like Rhett said, yes, I am pretty pumped about this one. We got a good one in store. If you're watching in the morning time, it's very fitting for what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about starting your mornings well.
You're going to love this one.
Yeah, I think so.
You morning people.
I think so. I was kind of thinking about the importance of starting our morning well, why it's really even an important thing. And I had this story that I was told, like 12 years ago. So it's good if I remember from that long ago. And it's applicable to a lot of different things, but especially about the importance of starting your morning well. And the story goes like this, that there's two guys, and they're going out to chop wood, okay? You got to use your imagination here.
I'm thinking.
That's not a normal thing. So two guys going out to chop wood, and they kind of set off on two different hills from each other, but they can still see each other working.
Right.
And there's this one guy, and he's pretty competitive, and he's like, "Look, by the end of the day, I'm going to chop a whole lot more wood than old boy." And so he's just working all day long, just splitting wood. He keeps looking over at the other guy, and he's taking breaks. Especially in the beginning. Like in the beginning of the day, he just took a long break, just like wasn't doing anything. He didn't understand. Yeah. He didn't understand what was going on. So at the end of the day, they get together to, just like most men do, compare. Yeah. And so they compared their piles.
Right.
And the guy who was working all day long knew that he was just going to totally outproduce the other guy. And when they got together, believe it or not, the guy who paused, took the long break in the beginning and breaks throughout the day, ended up having a whole lot more wood split than the other one.
Yeah.
And so he said what the difference was. He said, well, while you were working, while you were doing everything in your effort and not stopping and putting out all this effort and exhaustion, I was sharpening my axe.
Wow.
So that's what it's all about, is sharpening your axe.
Yeah.
Is that, like, there's a difference in working hard and working smart and working effectively.
Right.
And so, the reason that we're doing this podcast is because we all do a lot of different things and we want to do them well.
Right.
We want to be our best at work. We want to be our best for our family. We want to be best for ourselves and our relationships. And so we need to make sure that we're sharpening our axe. And I think a big part of that is starting our mornings well.
Yeah. And that's when you typically need to do it, is in the beginning. So how you start is going to set the tone for the rest of the log splitting or the day.
Yes, which I've actually only done like once in my lifetime, but I love that story.
Yeah. So. If chopping wood defines being a man, I'm not out there.
Yeah. No Tom Bunyan lumberjack stuff.
No,
here.
We got some technology for that now. But we wanted to give you some, of course, we'd love to hit you with stats and quotes and everything. But yeah, I am a big fan of starting your morning well. I would like to consider myself a morning person.
Yeah. I'm not.
I say that, I think I enjoy the premise of it, which we'll get into.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So we do have a couple quotes to start off with. If you are a Shark Tank fan, you're going to love this first quote.
Represent.
It is by Robert Herjavec. I don't think I've ever seen his name spelled out like that.
You said it really well.
Did I?
That was good.
You got to say
You've
it
heard
fast.
it a time or two on Shark Tank.
Herjavec. But his quote is, "I've never been a morning person, but I realize that the most successful people are the ones who get up early."
I can relate to that.
I mean, I don't think I've heard of like someone that's super successful that's like, I'm just going to get up whenever I want to.
Right. I'm sure there's an outlier example or something like that. But I think, like you said, I wouldn't consider myself a morning person, but most successful people.
And I will give a disclaimer. So do you listen to Nate Bargatze at all, or like comedians?
Yeah. Yes.
He loves to kind of give some, even like other comedians, like they obviously are up late because that's when they're performing. So they do wake up a little later. But that's, the more successful you are, that's the more things you have to do. So ideally, when do you find time? It's typically in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, the premise of it, like successful people know they need more time and they use it wisely, but they need to sharpen their axe, so they wake up early.
Yeah.
Second quote we have is from one of our good friends of the show, Benjamin Franklin.
Great old time friend.
Yeah. The quote we have is, "I wake up every morning at 9." It's probably a little later than a morning person.
Yeah.
But still,
man.
maybe it's early back then.
Yeah.
"I wake up every morning at 9."
Yeah, like the hours of the day changed.
"And grab for the morning paper. Then I look at the obituary page. If my name is not on it, I get up."
Okay.
How's that for some motivation?
Yeah, I like that.
What if your name actually is on it?
You're like, oh, back to bed. Or something.
No, but yes, that's the premise.
the
It kind of
point.
the morning, the motivation of like, you know what? I'm not dead. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I have a purpose to fulfill.
Right.
I'm going to get up.
Right. Yeah, it's some good quotes about it. And there's obviously a lot of science behind. Not only is it just a good thing to do for your motivation and accomplishing tasks and whatnot, but there's a lot of science about starting your morning well. And I think a big part of starting your morning well, and we'll get into this more in a minute, is how you sleep.
Yep.
Right? And so there's a study published in the Journal of Sleep Research, pretty fun journal, that found individuals who adhered to a regular sleep schedule and woke up, this is the important part, at the same time every morning, experienced better sleep quality and overall health outcomes.
I believe it.
Yeah, so we'll get into more about how I used to just wake up whenever and how it affected me, not only in my business and my personal life and all that different thing. But another survey says, and this was by the APA, the American
It's a hard one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Psychological.
Thank you. American Psychological Association, 63% of adults in the United States reported that their stress level is highest in the morning.
That one, it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like
you think that almost at the end of your day it'd be more stressful because of all the events, but it's like, oh, well, no, I get to go home and shut it off.
Yeah.
But I can attest to this, like Courtney and I, and we'll get into this more in a minute, but like when we were both like, okay, we need to get out of the house. I got to get to work. We got to get the boys to school. She's got to get on with her day.
Yeah.
Those mornings can
They are
be
stressful.
incredibly stressful. So, and
Very
not
stressful.
to mention traffic, trying to get to work, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's factored in there too. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
another one about this. This is a survey conducted by the sleep judge.
I want that job.
Not to be mistaken
Judge
with
the sleep.
Judge Judy. Sleep judge found that 50% of individuals who followed a consistent morning routine reported that they felt more productive throughout the day, and they also had a 76% felt a greater sense of control over their schedule.
I see that 100%.
Makes
I
sense.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you don't start off your morning well, it's hard to get the rest of the day going without starting off the morning well. And so I think we can all pretty much agree that developing a good, consistent morning routine is good for our lives. So why don't we do it?
Yeah. I mean, we even talked about it kind of backtracking the last episode, talking about our kids and how like they need structure and routine.
Yes.
Like it doesn't go away, structure and routine. And I know some people are so turned off by the routine, like they don't want to just have the same thing every day, which I get.
Sure.
But, you know, if some studies show, if it helps you achieve what you want to achieve,
That's right.
it's probably worth doing it. But yes, you are right. Not everybody wants to do it.
Not everybody wants to do it, and we want to relate to you, though, that one of the biggest reasons that people don't do it is because it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a morning person. I don't wake up and pop out of bed, and I'm like, let's go.
Yep.
I'm not just
You don't do that?
immediately. No, I'm not. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm
Probably
so in
wake up
tune
Courtney.
with my why, my motivation that I wake up every single day, and I'm so freaking pumped.
Just jump out of the bed.
That's a complete
No,
joke.
absolutely don't do anything like that. But it is hard.
Yes.
You know, and especially with all the things that life can throw at you. And, you know, if you get binging a show late at night and you end up staying a little bit too late, it's hard to wake up when the alarm goes off. And so we want to relate with you and certainly tell you that one of the biggest reasons that a lot of people don't do this is not only is it hard to get up and it's hard to motivate yourself and it's hard to do these different things, it's hard to stay disciplined in doing the things that you actually plan.
Yeah, I think the most comfortable I am when I sleep is like right after my alarm goes
Oh,
off.
yeah,
That's when I'm
absolutely.
like, oof, man.
Like, why couldn't you have found that when you were trying to go to
Yeah,
bed?
I think it was a meme I saw the other day. It was like the brain was like, let's wake him up at 3 a.m. for no reason and make him uncomfortable. And then it's like, let's make him the most comfortable he's ever been 10 minutes before his alarm goes off.
Exactly.
It's not
how it
easy.
works.
It's difficult. No matter
Right.
even how much you plan, it's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, 100%.
And then we kind of go into another reason. It's just, I can attest to this. Well, everybody can attest to this. But number two, things happen,
Yeah.
right? So things happen to disturb our sleep that just kind of come up sporadically that just make it even harder to do.
Yeah.
And we wrote specifically, we're the house dads. We got kids,
Yeah.
right? There was a night recently where I literally counted 7 times I went up and down our stairs. One of the kids woke up. I went up to kind of make sure she was okay, got her back to sleep, came back down. She woke up 2 or 3 more times, and the other one woke up, and I instantly regretted buying a house with stairs.
Right.
But,
That's what I was thinking immediately.
But yeah, stuff happens throughout the night. Stuff happens before you go
Right.
to sleep. Just things come up to disturb that restful 8 hours.
Like, it's so easy to have a plan in place
Yes.
to say, okay, I'm going to get up at 5, I'm going to get up at 6, and whatever, or I'm going to have this great morning routine, but kid gets sick. You can't go to sleep as well as you would have liked because you had a long day, or
Yeah.
your brain was running, or things just happen, so it's hard to stick to that routine.
Yeah, and it's again, you can plan all you want, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, stuff comes up.
Yeah,
Stuff comes
100%.
up.
100%.
The third one we have, another reason that people don't want to do this or have a hard time, it's they'd rather play catch up later in the day. Like they say, they kind of justify, well, I'm a night person. I stay up late and kind of get my stuff done at night rather than waking up early. So, I mean, the later you stay up, I mean, you kind of had a good justification of that. Not justification, but reason.
Well, yeah,
I'm not a night person. So 10 o'clock hits, I'm toast.
Yeah, me
All these
too.
midnight premieres I used to go to with movies.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, one of the most incredible movies,
Right.
fell asleep in the movie theater because we
Yeah.
went to the midnight premiere.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah.
I remember real midnight premieres where you would like wait outside, rave. Remember rave on O'Neill? Actually waiting outside there for it to start at 12 o'clock. Now it's like a midnight premiere, but they start showing it the day before at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Anyway.
I still fall asleep.
But I think a lot of people that I've talked to, and even some of my agents, like I woke up this morning to one, and I look in my email, and she's sending in compliance docs at like 1 a.m. I'm like, go to bed,
What are you doing?
But I know that some of us, they say, oh, I'm a night owl, I work better at night and things like that. I think the reason that we shouldn't push off good morning routines is that if you push off a good morning routine, then the things that you wanted to be productive doing at 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, like in the afternoon when people are expected to hear from you and you're expected to perform and you're expected to respond to people, that you're going to still be playing catch up in the time when people need a response from you.
Absolutely.
And so that's why you have to start off well, because if you just say, oh, well, I'm going to wake up at 10, part of the day has already passed you by where the rest of the world is already moving.
Yeah, they're expecting things from you during that time.
Exactly.
And we kind of said this example before discussing this show, but
What are we discussing?
the show. That was almost a
Can we bleep that
potty word. Sorry, the Celsius I'm drinking has got me jacked.
My bad. I wanted
Got me
to,
cussing.
hesitated to call you out, but I did. So.
It did sound like that. I was like, I wonder if everybody heard that. Talking about working out. So I like to you can tell I like to work out, obviously. But sometimes like I'm going to work out in the afternoon. Like I'll try to work out at 4 or 5, whatever. But stuff comes up, especially in our industry. Like you'll get a random call, hey, we want to go do this right now, or we need this. And my mind also is not quite there. I feel much more fueled in the mornings when nobody else is like expecting something from me to do what I need to do. So I'm not distracted at the end of the day.
Exactly. And so, we wanted to go over some of the reasons why it's difficult to do this or why it's difficult to implement a routine. But then we also wanted to talk about, obviously, how to implement a routine. And the first thing when you're setting this, and this is a lesson that I learned the hard way, is that you need to get up earlier than you need to. Right?
I can't wake up just in time.
No, I remember very specifically at Southeastern in Tangipahoa Hall, me and my roommate Brennan would figure out when our first class was, right? And we would map out in our minds how quick it would be or how long it would take for us to walk from our dorm room and to our first class. And depending on what hall it was, I mean, it would take 5 to 7 minutes. And it's like, okay, well, I need 2 minutes to brush my teeth and a 7-minute walk. So I'm going to wake up 9 minutes before class. Like it was
That'll
like
work.
you would back your way out. And then obviously when I got older and had a little bit more responsibility, I still would look at my schedule for the next day and then set my wake up time based off of that and set my alarm that way. But truly setting a time to wake up that is earlier than I even need to eliminates the issues that could pop up that messes up, if you just woke up when you needed to from your morning just being completely chaotic. It
is a complete different day when I wake up like earlier, like we're saying that I need to. When I wake up before my kids, I'll say that.
That's the key.
When I'm woken up, I don't know.
Whatever.
Grammar Nazis got me. But
me.
When I wake up with my kids, if I hear them or they wake us up, man, I won't say my day is automatically bad, but it's different. I feel more groggy. I'm not as productive. But the days that I intentionally wake up earlier, and certain days have better workouts or quiet times or whatever time alone than others. But it's a game changer for me.
It's a massive game changer, and I'm glad you said that because even in different seasons of my life, the first was self-employed, starting a real estate business and all this stuff. I would look at my schedule and wake up when I needed to wake up. And then I realized I needed to be more disciplined than that. And so I started to set a time to wake up, but then I had children. And then they started to wake up before I set my time.
Yeah.
And so then I had to go ahead of that and say, okay, I know my boys are probably going to be up around 6:30. So I've got to get up at 6 so that I have that time before they're up. And, I need that time before they're up so that I can actually have quiet time, so that I can actually have time alone with the Lord and do that. And a key to that is making sure that before I have to be anything for anybody else, to my boys, to Courtney, or to anything on my phone, I try and put my phone away completely before I can just get into time with the Lord, just get alone, be quiet. I have a little spot right in my little office, open up the window or open up the blinds, let some light in if we got it at 6,
right,
and just be alone.
Yeah.
That time is so pivotal to me. Different people, talk about different things, meditation, all this different stuff. For me, it's about getting alone with the Lord and reading through my devotional and just thinking about the day to come, thinking about what happened yesterday, all that. That time, I try everything I can to not miss it.
Yeah. Do you have a devotional that you go through, or are you more so just do this and pick a verse in the Bible?
No, I do different things, different years.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, I read through the Bible in a year, and so I would just go along with the chronological Bible plan, or I did just like a year, a Bible in a year plan. Right now, some of the devotionals out there, I'll be honest with you, a little cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went through several to find the one that I'm on right now. And man, it's so good. It's deep. It's encouraging. It's tied to some business aspects and things like that too. And in my season of life, and it has a lot of scripture reference. And so I'll read through my devotional and then spend the next 10, 15 minutes going through the scriptures that it refers to.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and
love it.
Try and do all of that without looking at my phone.
That's the hard part because it's always a hard part for everything, but sometimes the Bible app is what I'll use, right? And or the plans, if I have a Bible plan, they're on the phone. It's just so easy to just scroll over and let me just tap Instagram real quick.
And that notification pops up.
Oh yeah, something pops up.
I had to do so initially 2 years ago when I did the chronological reading plan, I found myself doing the same thing, and I'd get so distracted, and it would take me forever to finish one and all this stuff. So I printed it out.
There you go.
I printed it out, would do it, that way every morning. And so there's something about, before you have to go to your phone, being able to go to something else is pivotal. Really
it takes discipline. It takes being very intentional about it. I have a group of friends that will send memes back and forth to each other.
We do. We have a group.
And there's a few of them that will send memes late at night, after I've gone to sleep. So if I check my phone right when I wake up, I'll wake up to the memes and then it goes down the rabbit hole. Well, let me just see what else is going on. And it just,
Is your group like mine? So I have a group. Shout out to the Yeet Squad.
Oh, the Yeet Squad.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, Yeet Squad. It's we're pretty really cool.
Pretty really
we play Fortnite and stuff occasionally. No,
Okay.
that's we don't do it as much anymore.
Okay.
But anyway, is your group like mine where, me and Jonathan and another guy, we text, and then you got 3 or 4 of them that don't respond ever.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll check in on them and be like, hey, y'all are breathing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of memes out there about this one guy in the group chat who's just out.
Just
He's just
lingering.
fishing or something. Never answers the
Never
group
does
text.
anything.
Like,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Shout out Brennan. I'm glad that you're still alive. He checks
Hopefully
in
you
every
are,
once in a
yeah.
while. Yeah.
But yeah, that is a clutch thing. Just don't check the phone as soon as you wake up.
Yeah.
Do your stuff you need to do before you start your day.
Right.
The last thing we have, number 3, is to set a plan and stick to it.
Huge.
And the quote we have is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
That's good.
You like that word?
You can say it backwards too. You plan to
plan to fail. You fail to
fail to
plan.
plan.
Another way of putting it I heard is proper. Well, this may apply. I don't know.
Yeah.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. You prepare.
yeah.
Prevents the
Yes.
poor performance.
And I will say, mentally, there's days to give you a testimony of how much I believe in this. I have my youngest daughter. She's 3. She loves to wake up early. Man, there's times where she'll wake up at 5:30. She woke up at 3:30 the other day, and she was like, "I'm ready to wake up." I'm like, "No. It's nighttime."
3:30 is not morning.
No, she's just ready to roll. So I know that she's going to wake up early. So I know, again, I need to wake up earlier than they do. And I need to have a plan and knock these things out to fill me up so I can fill others up during the day.
Yeah.
My alarm is at 4 a.m.
My dude.
4 a.m. I'm not
Power
saying that
to
to
you,
brag.
bro. No,
I'm just
that's
saying
great.
like the importance it is to me.
Yes.
And you can ask my wife. Brandy knows that when I don't have like a solid morning or solid time to myself, I'm not very fun.
Yeah. That's
So
tough.
whatever plan is for you, it doesn't necessarily
Yes.
you have to do that. It
Right.
can be. We have some examples. Working out. I love to work out. I'm not saying I'm huge. I just love the aspect of exercising,
Yeah,
getting
it's
active.
important.
That's for me. What helps me start the day is like
Right.
doing something active. I can
Yep.
wake up and sit and like read, but I still feel groggy.
Right.
I got to do something active.
Yep.
So it's working out, getting ready, having your clothes picked out the day before.
Huge,
the old
man.
middle school, like I'm pumped for school. Let me see what I'm wearing the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
Or you could be like Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and wear the
Black
same thing
t-shirts.
every day. But prepare that way. Don't look at your phone. Have kids tasks.
Yeah.
Think
so-
y'all have like kids
yeah,
tasks?
Yeah, like that's a big deal. Like Courtney and I would find ourselves like where we would kind of have our plan and we would throw the boys, some breakfast and all these different things. And I was like, man, I feel like we don't want to leave them behind in the midst of us having a
Yeah.
routine in the morning. And but those simple things like waking up earlier than they do, trying to get a workout in potentially, or even get the workout started before they wake up was
Yeah.
big for us. And having small things like when Courtney and I, okay, let's look at the weather the night before.
Yeah.
What are we going to wear the next day? So we kind of pick out those things beforehand. And it's so pivotal to have that plan. And so we started to do a plan for the boys. And Lucas, he kind of just goes along with it. He's 2.
Yeah.
Max loves it. Like he goes through it and knows the plan that we have in the mornings. He loves it and he thrives off of it. So when he wakes up, what we do, the first thing we do is we make his bed. Basically, Courtney and I make his bed, and he throws all his stuffed animals back on his bed.
He supports you.
Right, yeah, but he puts his animals on his bed. He knows that. He puts his pillow up and everything like that. And then we read a devotional together.
Love it.
We got a cute little devotional. Lucas will kind of sit there and point at some stuff and say Jesus and all that. And so he does his
All the
devotional.
right answers.
Do our devotional, brush teeth, and then we have breakfast, which, we don't do much. We ain't making breakfast. Like, Max
waffle.
eats a Pop-Tart every morning.
Pop-Tarts
It's
are
not
clutch.
like,
Take
I'm
it out.
sorry, we're
do you,
not.
Do you even toast it?
No, he doesn't eat it toasted.
No, just put it on the plate.
Yeah,
Good to go.
yeah, and like Lucas eats sausage. Like it's just random things.
Yeah.
They eat their breakfast, and then it's like, okay, mommy's got to finish getting ready. Dad's probably just done with his workout. They're gonna have their little TV and screen time while we finish this up.
Right.
But we just didn't want to throw them right in front of a screen. So, even having a plan for your kids.
Yeah.
and they thrive off of that.
Yeah, but the premise of this is like you have to plan that.
Correct.
You have to intentionally plan it. You can't just wing it.
Correct.
Because it's going to make it go so much smoother.
Yes. Yes.
And it takes intention. So if you don't have the plan, and I will say mentally, like if I go to bed and say I'm going to set my alarm for 4, I'll see how I'm feeling when it goes off. No,
It's over.
No,
It's not
100%
gonna
of the
happen.
time I'm oversleeping.
Yeah.
But if I say I'm setting for 4, I'm gonna wake up
That's
at
what I'm getting
4,
at.
and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
It takes saying that. We're talking about affirmations and stuff in a prior episode, but like,
Yeah.
you gotta plan for it.
it's pivotal.
So I posed the question:
Okay.
when people say, I don't know, I'm just not a morning person, do you think that's a load of bull? Or do you think do you think it's a maturity thing until people realize, hey, I got to wake up early?
Yeah, I don't think that I'm a morning person now, and I
Yeah.
still get up early and have a plan and do these different things. And so I think that it can be a cop-out.
Yeah.
I think that, and I think, again, to each their own, I think the key is it's not the time of the day that you wake up. It's having a plan
Yeah.
to start your mornings well.
Absolutely.
Right? So, whether you consider yourself a morning person, I'm not happy. I prefer sleeping in.
Yeah.
And Courtney and I, we do like on weekends and things like that. We'll trade getting up early with the boys and somebody sleeps in when it's a day that we don't need to be productive. And
Yep.
we need to rest and we need to relax. And so don't get me wrong. We love sleeping in when that permits. But when
Yeah.
it's time to get to work, when it's time to get the kids off to school and do those things, you got to have a
Yep.
plan. So whether you're a morning person or not, just become one.
Yep.
just
do it.
just
It's an
figure it out.
excuse to say I'm not.
Yeah.
I have a friend who lives out of state, and they would always kind of brag. They'd see me kind of waking up early and stuff. And they'd brag, like, you don't have to wake up early to be successful. You can just kind of wake up whenever. Like they were kind of
Yeah.
proud of the fact that they don't do that.
Yeah.
But they started to get a little more like successful, a little more duties.
Yeah.
They're waking up earlier.
100%.
Again, not about the time, but
Yes.
you can tell they have a plan, and they realize they have to do it.
And 100% for me, and I know that for different people in different seasons of their lives, it's for my sanity.
Yeah.
Like, the agents in the office, they know that even if they text me real early in the morning, probably not getting a response back from me until about 8 or 8:30
Mm-hmm.
because I need that time to unplug.
Yep.
In that morning time, it gives me that so that I can be all of what I need to be for my agents, for my family, for my friends, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So you hear, starting your mornings off with will significantly impact your mood, productivity, and overall well-being throughout the day. So
Right.
we encourage you
Yes.
to find what works for you and try to implement it. One of my favorite
Yeah.
quotes that I've heard, ironically, it's a morning podcast, kind of a motivation type thing, but they say, we need to be selfless. We need to be selfish in our morning routine so we can be selfless throughout the day.
Man, that's solid.
Right? So you
That's
got
a
to
great
protect
way to
that
put it.
time, and it can be sometimes a communication between you and
Yeah.
your spouse of like, hey, I don't want to seem like I'm just being selfish. Well, I am kind of being selfish with what I need to do so I can be selfless with you throughout the day and with the people that I'm serving,
Man.
clients, family,
That
all
is
that.
a great way to put it. And I think, if you are in the dynamic where you have a significant other or spouse or children, it's an interesting balance. Make sure that you're communicating what you need in the mornings, like where you need to be selfish, but also make sure that the other person's getting a chance to be selfish
Yep.
too. So, I have to sacrifice a little bit of maybe getting ready quicker or stopping while I'm getting ready so Courtney can go finish her workout and like different things like that. So make sure that you're, working with your spouse or whoever to make that make sense for you guys too.
Absolutely.
And again, going back to some of the research that we did, a key to starting the morning well is sleeping well.
Ooh.
So a key to starting the morning well is finishing the night well.
Yep.
Which is hard, Courtney and I have some shows that we
Yeah,
love.
that's the hard part. Is cutting off the shows.
Cutting off the shows. Courtney and I on Wednesday nights, we go to church, we get home, and we finish Survivor.
I thought you were about to say Ted Lasso, but
No, yeah, Ted, we're on recent episodes. I kind of watch that one on my own. But anyway, so you got to cut off the shows. You got to get to bed at a decent time so you can wake up at a different time. And, we've had a lot of good quotes. And so I want to, kind of end this out with a really important one that you probably never heard before. The early bird gets the worm.
You heard it here first. Early bird gets the worm.
Came up with that myself.
No, but we hope you see the importance of it. We are practicing it ourselves. Let us know what you do. We'd love to hear what you comment below on YouTube if you're watching. We know you are. We'd love to kind of hear what you do. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, for watching. I failed to give a call to action in the beginning. I'm such a stinking failure.
That's okay. We're here.
But we're going to do it here. So we are asking that you would leave us a review. Give us a 5 stars on Spotify, on Apple, and just share this. We want other people to get some benefits from this as well. We're not trying to be selfish with only you hearing it.
Yes.
We want others to hear it
Be
as well.
selfless.
Yeah. So again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next episode.